Wednesday, Georgian Bay, and welcome to the very first episode of The Scoop, your backstage pass to the people, stories, and conversations shaping our community. Every week, we'll sit down with 3 incredible guests, from local business owners and artists to event organizers and community change makers. Whether it's a new project, an upcoming event, or an issue that needs attention, we'll dig into what's happening, who's behind it, and why it matters. I'm Nadia HOVAN, and I'm so excited to be here at the SIMCOE Street Theater in beautiful downtown Collingwood with my 2 amazing co-hosts, Janene, aka Miss J, and Katerina. Ladies, how are we feeling today?
I get so excited.
So good. So good.
Ready to dig into everything that we have lined up. I'm really, really excited for all the guests that we have coming on. So yeah, just let's get into it.
Absolutely. First, let's give the audience just a little context into who we are and what we do.
Yeah, I'm an all-around creative. I really love all of the arts. So from dance to piano to martial arts, actually, to visuals, I find inspiration everywhere and just love to do it by myself and also with others and bring people into the creative life. So yeah.
Okay, I'm a mom of an amazing 18-year-old young man. I actually just fell into this creative part of my life over the last few years, right? So I'm new to Collingwood, 5 years now. I'm happy about that. And I am simply just enjoying where I'm living right now. And there's so much more to me, but we'll get to that another time.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah. How about you?
Yeah, so I'm a mom to 2 teenagers. They're 14 and 17, going on 20 and 25.
Yeah.
And I have a house full of pets, but I also am constantly creative. I come from a musical theater background, but I also have worked in film and television on the development and the production side, creating movies for the Hallmark Channel and other such networks. And yeah, everything from script writing to acting on stage to what we do here today. So I'm super excited to be here.
Yeah, we'll definitely dig into that a little bit later. We have so much to get to. Oh my goodness.
I do want to talk about these outfits though.
No.
We are so fortunate today.
I did want to ask you both, do you think that what we wear defines who we are as people? How much of our identity do you think shows up in what it is that we wear day to day or on special occasions? Things like
Janene, you want to go first?
You know what? I want to say that style is definitely something that's fluid. You know, because we are forever evolving, and so is style. You know, so whatever it is you wear, you do tell a story, you know, but I don't think it really does tell the whole story as to who you are as an individual.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that because my kids call me a soccer mom the way I dress. I'm certainly not a soccer mom. Nobody in my family plays soccer. But I am a theater mom, and I am a dog walking mom. So I do tend to wear their hand-me-downs because I feel like that's financially responsible. And basically buying anything that's on sale.
Wait, are you like the same size? That's amazing.
Oh, well, yeah, for the most. They also, teenagers dress in bigger clothes, right? So it's like they have an oversized hoodie and then, But thank you. I'll take that compliment.
Tops, you really love it?
No, I let those go to the thrift store.
Yeah.
Thrift.
No, I love thrifting. Oh my goodness.
Thrifting's good. We should go thrifting one day.
Ooh, ideas. No, but I do think that what we do kind of obviously represents us right away to somebody when we meet them for the first time, or there's ideas of how we come across. So I am aware of that as I put things together, but oftentimes I don't find exactly what I'm looking for. I do like to play around with lots of different clothes, but like you said, there's so much more to who we are. But I do think that it gives hints as to who we are as people. The types of colors that you wear, or are you more of a neutral palette tone person? What kind of style elements do you put together? So I think it's like a little glimpse into who we are as people, as defined. Like, for instance, I can't go anywhere without earrings. I feel so naked. So I don't know what that says psychologically, but that's one of the like.
And I can't leave the house without makeup. That is just a thing
Yeah.
for me, not for other people.
I must have my earrings.
Yeah.
Earrings is your thing.
I don't
too?
care for makeup. I don't need makeup. I just want earrings.
Interesting.
Give me
Yeah.
makeup. Give me earrings.
For some people, it's like lipstick, they just like love a little pop of color. It brings happiness and energy and brightness to their life. So yeah, whatever it is for every individual person, I definitely think that style is incredibly important. important, and our clothes are too.
I love that segue.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? We're going to get into that with someone who lives and breathes this stuff. After the break, we'll be joined by one of the women behind the local boutique that styled us for this episode. Don't go anywhere.
Can't wait. No, but I
Let's
honestly
do it.
love everything.
I mean, me too. I'm thinking I'm good. Welcome back to The Scoop. We're kicking things off with a guest who knows all about using fashion to express identity and confidence. She's the owner of the store dressing us this month and the reason we're looking so fabulous today. Please welcome NICOLE Bishop, the heart and style behind Bishop Consignment.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being with us today.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you for all of these fabulous outfits. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I feel like we definitely have to do a little fashion show now. Ladies, what do you say?
Oh my goodness.
Yes, please. Yes. Who's going
Are you
first?
serious?
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on, this is fun.
Nadia, you go first.
No way. I'll leave that to
Kat, you go first.
Since I'm up anyways.
Kat,
Yeah,
go
maybe
first.
you can talk about a
little
little
bit.
bit
Oh.
of what you saw.
That's okay.
All right, Nicole, what is Katerina wearing today?
So we have Kat in a beautiful, almost like a sort of silk chiffon piece, a little bit longer at the back. Beautiful colors, a nice little black belt, which I often like to do that versus like when things come with like the tie that matches, I kind of like to switch it out for a belt. And then beautiful black high heels. Woo!
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do mine now.
All right, Janine.
I feel like I should have like a handheld microphone
I
for this. Janine is in a beautiful blue ribbed dress with combat boots and a leather jacket, just to give it a little bit of edge as well.
I don't want to tell you the price of these. I don't want to tell you the price of the boots, okay? All right? Okay.
They are fabulous.
They are great.
Yeah.
All right.
So Nadia is in a pair of pants that I just think is almost like a work of art, just with that floral print. Beautiful sort of blue suede shoes and this stunning green silk blouse, which I really love the green on you too.
And my favorite.
Pockets. Everybody's favorite, yeah.
Amazing. Okay.
All right. So, people, we're about to start this. So, let's start with the basics. Who are you and how did Bishop Consignment come to be?
So we actually, my mom and I own the store together. My mom, Susan, and we initially started our business in Collingwood with Bishop Botanicals, which is a skincare company that we still have. And it was actually through the pandemic, we were in what was Hughes Consignment. And Jacqueline, who was the previous owner, because we were looking for a different space just to downsize, because we were doing yoga classes and massage. We just didn't need all that space when you couldn't have people inside. And so we asked Jacqueline, you know, if you hear of any spaces that are smaller, let us know. She suggested sharing the space. So how the store is laid out, there's like the sort of front part, there's a bit of a wall with like an entrance. And so we had the skincare set up in the back. And then she was also at some point looking to pivot and change her life just through the pandemic. And so we ended up purchasing the store from her. And then it became Bishop Consignment. And then we've changed it just over time, just, you know, with our own sort of like style and vibe and all of that. But that's how it all started.
Wow. And your skin looks incredible. So
Oh,
I can say, yeah.
I mean,
It's
we've got
Thank you so
rare.
much. Yeah.
It's rare to have such nice skin.
Oh my
and
God,
Skin and
stop.
style.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's
Okay, so
I love it here. Yeah.
Please come back anytime.
Yeah.
okay, so for those who may not know about consignment, how exactly does that work?
So there is sort of like a general standard for consignment stores overall, and then we have our own kind of twist to it. So basically, people can, you know, in terms of general consignment, you can go into a store with items that you are looking to sort of unload, we'll say, and then it's on a consignment basis. So there's a certain percentage that the person bringing in their clothes will get once things sell. So it's not like you get paid outright or whatever. And how we work with that is we're very selective. That's why we say that we're curated consignment, because we really want to build an environment that feels eclectic but also cohesive, which I know sounds like a bit of a oxymoron or whatever, but you know, that's kind of the vibe that we're going for. So we're really selective, but people bring in their items. We don't do appointments. We just think it's more natural for people to be able to come in when they can, as opposed to trying to keep track of all of that. And then we're mostly season specific. Some consignment stores are really strict about like nothing over, you know, 3 years old, only certain brands, whereas we are a really, again, eclectic mix, where we accept vintage, because my mom and I both love vintage clothes. We accept all kinds of brands, which I also think just reflects what style is versus fashion. We kind of go for style of, you know, wanting to create an environment where people can really, you know, anybody can find something for themselves or mix and match. Just like, I mean, you guys are all in outfits that have varying pieces from different brands and all of that, and that really encompasses what the store is.
And different price ranges too, right?
100%.
Yeah, it's more
Absolutely.
accessible for everyone.
100%. Like I was saying, Janine's dress, our price is, you know, $48. The boots, not $48. Yeah, but it looks so great together, you know? So that's what we really want to do, is be able to have, you know, a place where anybody can come and find pieces.
That's important. So like, what kind of fashion or vibe does Bishop really focus on?
I would say that we're, like, again, eclectic. I know I keep using that word, and I know that's almost like a vague way to say like everything. But I think, you know, the vibe that we want to create in terms of the clothes is, again, like, you know, some people can come in and just appreciate certain pieces, even if it's not their own style. You know, some of the pieces that we've had in are like literal works of art. It's incredible. We've had, you know, couture come in, and it's just like, it's not, you know, I'm a big believer in wear anything, anytime, but couture is just like not it for my lifestyle. But it's just like, you know, to be able to have those pieces in, it's just so cool.
And inspiring.
Like, so inspiring. Like, you know, I love art and design, and fashion really fits into that. So, you know, being able to have access to those pieces is really cool. And we really set out to create an environment that people feel really comfortable coming into. Like, we want people to feel like they're walking into somebody's living room. Because, you know, as much as fashion can be really fun, you know, style is really personal, and there's all kinds of walks of life that come in that are struggling in one way or another to figure out either what that is. Lifestyle has changed. You know, you like, in some cases, it's like the kids are out of the house and it's like, I don't know who I am and I'm trying to find myself. And so we want to create an environment where people can have those personal conversations and feel fine to do that, while, you know, deciphering who they are through the clothes that they're wearing.
That's so beautiful.
I love that.
Thank you.
Question.
Yeah.
What happens to the item if it doesn't sell? Because I imagine like some people bring stuff in and it's there for a while, you know.
Yeah, for sure. So, so in some cases, people will opt to pick up their items after a certain amount of time if they haven't sold, which is totally fine. We make a note on their sort of file, so people have that choice. For people that don't want to pick up their items after a certain amount of time, we actually work with the women at Agnora Glass Plant. So they have been doing a clothing sale for the last couple of years, where all of the proceeds go to, or all the profits, like just all the money, nobody's taking anything, whatever that appropriate word is. And so they do a clothing sale that goes, all the money goes to Collingwood Hospital. So we give a bunch of our donations there. And then this year as well, one of our friends / clients does a lot of work with my friend's house. And so she asked if we would sort of help her start something like that for my friend's house, which we're going to do that. And how we're going to sort of frame it as well is half the profits will go to my friend's house, and half of the profits will go to, or all the money, half of the, you know, income from that will go to hospice, which is a charity very close to my mom and I. So when people opt to donate their items, it's all going back into the community in different ways.
Wow. Amazing. What a great way to give new life to something that, you know, you might not be passionate about wearing anymore. Like, maybe you've outgrown it, or a style, and instead of, you know, so much clothing goes to a landfill and like just pollutes. What a beautiful way to repurpose again and again and again, and a way to give back to the community.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's very important, and it's beautiful.
It's cool for us to watch the sort of like journey of those pieces in terms of why people are bringing them in. Also, when people purchase them, you know, why and how that makes them feel, you know, when people put on something that feels amazing. And then in terms of the donations, knowing it, you know, all goes back to the community, and we're very transparent about that. And so it's nice to see everything go full circle.
So beautiful.
So last question, what advice, if any, would you give to anybody wanting to start perhaps their own business, but let's say specifically a consignment shop?
Yeah, I would say my biggest piece of advice, which could be applied to consignment, but I think just anything in general, and the older I get, the more I realize why cliches are cliches, because they're so true. And I say them all, I'm like basically writing live, laugh, love on everything now. But I would say you have to love it. Like you really have to love it, because you know the peaks are amazing, the valleys can be really hard, and both are guaranteed. And so it's like if it keeps getting you up and going in the morning, and if you really continue to feel that purpose and that passion behind it, then it's worth it. And so I would say that's my biggest piece of advice when starting a business, is that you have to love it, not just in the sense that you enjoy the topic or the genre or whatever it is, but you really love what you do so that it keeps you going through that.
Absolutely.
Aw, I love that.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for everything and for being on the show and for
you.
amazing outfits and for everything that you do for the community.
Thank you
It's
so much.
incredible. And speaking of community, you are not going to want to miss our next guest, a true Collingwood staple. We'll be right back after this quick break.
It was so interesting to learn more about Welcome back to The Scoop. It's time for our Let's Talk About It segment, where we shine a light on the conversations that matter most in our community.
Our next guest is someone many of you may already know. Born and raised right here in Collingwood, he's a proud community member, a passionate advocate for accessibility, and someone who reminds us daily that determination can move mountains.
Please welcome my dear friend, Casey Morrison. He's here to share a bit about himself and what accessibility means to him. Casey, we're so excited to have you here, and thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Casey, for anyone who hasn't met you yet, can you tell us just a little bit about yourself?
My name is Casey Morrison, and I have cerebral palsy. I'm in a power wheelchair. My mind works the same as yours. I use a tablet with voice output to communicate, and I type by using head switches. So please be patient while I'm responding. My keyboard is at the bottom of the screen. And when you see my head move from left to right, that means I'm typing. I also drive my chair using the same head switches.
Casey, you recently joined us on The Scoop as our production assistant. Yay, which we're super excited about. Can you tell us a little bit about your role and what you're most looking forward to working with us?
Right now, I'm creating a database of businesses in Georgian Bay, including contact information and the services they offer. Then I'll help send out emails to invite them on the show, find sponsors, and coordinate things when guests arrive. Most people don't realize I have strong computer skills. I can use programs like Excel and help with organizing a lot of the behind-the-scenes work.
That's right.
It's my first time working on a film set, so I'm excited to learn new things and be a part of how the show comes together.
Aw. Well, we're excited to have you too. Casey, you have always been a strong voice for accessibility, specifically here in Collingwood. But what does accessibility mean to you in your daily life? Like, how does that connect to the work you're doing now?
Accessibility is very important to me because I want to be independent, just like anyone else. That means having access to on-demand transportation, where you can call a ride like an accessible taxi when you need it, not days in advance. It also means making sure businesses and public spaces are usable for everyone. Whether you use a wheelchair, have low vision, or process things differently. That's why I'm part of Collingwood's Accessibility Advisory Committee and the Transit Advocacy Group. I want to help make things better, not just for people like me, but for anyone living with a disability.
What are some things you'd like to see happen in the world when it comes to inclusion and accessibility?
Remove barriers for everyone. Change attitudes toward accessibility. I wish there were more work opportunities for people who live with disabilities. I think inclusion means creating real chances for everyone to participate, no matter their ability.
Yeah, absolutely. And last but not least, Casey, if you could leave our audience with one message about disability, accessibility, or just how to be a good ally, what would it be?
Accessibility isn't just about people living with disabilities. It's about making our community work better for everyone. All public spaces should be universally accessible, so everyone can participate and live to their full potential. We all benefit when we take a moment to notice what someone else might need.
Oh, it gives me a little weepy. Oh, it's so true. And I mean, I'm so grateful that we were able to accommodate you here at this theater and, bring our interview down to the floor where we could have you be a part of this. Thank you, Casey, so much for being here and for being such an important part of the Scoop team and the community.
We are shifting gears, but still celebrating passion and perspective. After the break, we'll be joined by a wildlife photographer whose lens captures the beauty and complexity of the natural world right here in the Georgian Bay and beyond.
Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back. Welcome back to The Scoop. Our next guest has quite literally seen the world through a different lens. Jason George is a wildlife photographer, world traveler, and former high school teacher who made the leap from the classroom to the outdoors and never looked back.
Jason now lives in Wasaga Beach, where he combines his love for nature, photography, and working with individuals with special needs.
Welcome, welcome.
How are you ladies doing today?
Very well. How are you?
Super great.
Fantastic. Every day I wake up's a good day.
Oh my God, that's such a great positive outlook on life. And we will dig right into that. But first, I wanted to make sure that our audience knows a little bit about you, that you've traveled to over 35 countries, and his presentations are packed with unforgettable stories, powerful images, and a deep passion for the natural world. Jason, thank you again so much for coming on the show. We are very, very thrilled to have you.
I'm excited to be here. It's a very cool experience to be a part of such a cool opportunity, not just for myself, but also for the community, to learn about more in the community, which I think is awesome.
Yes, and you have had quite a unique journey yourself, from the classroom to the wild. Now, what inspired you to make that shift, and how did photography become such a big part of your life?
Well, I had an awesome connection with kids, and I love wildlife, and I was actually sitting in a classroom, and we were doing a SMART goal setting in business class, and I told them that I was going to see an owl before the end of the school year. At the time I was 33. Within 2 weeks I took a picture of an owl taking flight, and it's like one of my favorite photos, and it's like the leap of faith is what I refer to it as. And that was sort of like the final stage when I realized I needed to leave teaching. I'd been having some issues with teaching, but like political stuff that we won't get into. But I just wasn't willing to fight that fight, and I decided to move. And then when I took that photo of the owl, it was like, no, I need to make a move. And I make way less money, but my life is so much better, and I get to have some pretty cool experiences.
Wow, that is really beautiful. Now tell us a little bit about your Going Deeper book series. How did these stories reflect your connections with the animals that you photograph?
So I have a cool book series. There's like 8 books currently right now, and it's called Going Deeper because a lot of people will just show you like the cute pictures of the animal, and I show a whole bunch of cute animals and pictures and all of that. But I also talk about tracking them. I talk about the behind the scenes stuff. I talk about poop. I talk about mating. I talk about the things that like we want to know, but maybe we're afraid to talk about. In this leopard one, I talk about snow leopards. I show snow leopards mating. I actually have snow leopard poop. In the one that you're looking at, I've got penguins. And like most people think that penguins only live in snow, but these ones are South African penguins, and they actually used to be called the jackass penguin because that's how they sound. They sound like a donkey.
Really?
But so then they changed the name so that it now is the South African penguin, and I've seen them in the Galapagos Islands. And it's just a fun way to try to share information. And I've actually even saved a penguin, which is a pretty cool experience.
Oh my goodness. You said that you've seen them pretty much on location. So you've traveled to 35 countries now, right? 35?
I've probably a little bit more
yeah?
than
Yeah?
35
You
because
lost
last year I went to India looking for snow leopards, lions, tigers, and
Wow. That's incredible. What's one of the most unforgettable moments that you've had while like traveling and photographing them? I know it's probably impossible to pick one, but if the one that's on top of your mind.
well, there's a couple. I would say one would be swimming in the Amazon jungle, and there was potential sound where there might have been an anaconda.
This was my question. It was just here. What about anacondas?
Yeah, so there was a potential 16-foot anaconda that was in the water, but we were worried
While you were
about.
swimming in the water, while you were.
Yeah, it was at 2 a.m. in the morning, but we had permission to be in there, which I don't understand how we had permission on a school trip
Yeah.
for us to be swimming, and like we were worried about a little parasite that swims up your urethra. We don't need to talk
I've
about
seen that on
anymore.
Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, and so it's actually this big, like it's.
No.
But so we're worried about this thing, and then we hear this something slide in, and the next morning there was a caiman that was found on the other side of the water, and a 16-foot anaconda around the bend.
Cool. Let's get back to the cute stuff.
Yeah, so that's, you asked for memorable, so that is one that is memorable, but we've also got one where I got to see a mother snow leopard with 2 8-month-old cubs.
Wow. And they're like
And
notoriously shy animals. So like,
that's the
it's
longest
very
I've ever
rare.
sat in one spot looking for something, and that was 8 hours hanging out in the Himalayan mountains, and it was such a cool experience. I probably had a little tear on my eye.
Oh my goodness. What is that like sitting there, the anticipation of something building up? Like, what is that?
Well, every once in a while we see a head pop up, and everyone like
Yeah.
it was a group, and like
Yeah.
we actually had guides who were bringing us food, and like it's like, oh my gosh, this is so
Yeah.
cool, and then
Yeah.
it was like you see a head, and everyone's like, shh, shh, and then nothing happens, right? Like I can remember even just like tracking deer, and I knew that they were about to mate, and I was like, it's just sniffing and licking, and then it's like you get excited, and then nothing happens, and after 45 minutes, I was like, I'm gonna leave. And then I look back and I take one last picture, and this deer sticks its tongue out and winks at me. And I actually have the picture, and I slap my buddy, and I'm like, it's on. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, it's on. And I turn around, and I've got this picture of the deer making babies. Like, it's the coolest thing. Like sometimes that wait is worth it. There was one time with a loon where I walked on a spot, and I saw a baby loon hatching. And like I got to make the video, and like I watched the egg
Like
shatter from the inside, and I have video. It's the coolest thing. So those are some of like those moments, and going underwater with animals. It's just
Was
so
Mama
cool.
Loon not all
There was
over?
mom and dad that were there, and they were just watching. Like I sat down, and they just like literally was like, "Yo, I'm here. You're there. You do what you do. I'm not." And they just.
they left you alone.
I left them alone. They left me alone, and it was just.
Perfect.
And I was actually filming, and I left it in the video. But I'm filming the video, and my battery dies as mom and dad are actually switching on the nest, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just missed that moment.
That's amazing, though.
So, but yeah,
But you lived it.
I lived it, and so like in the video I share on my YouTube channel, I actually like. I let you watch it, and it's like I make the screen go blank because that's actually what happened to me, and I was like, and it's like, oh, that sucks. And so that's where it ties back to going deeper. I want you to share and experience what I experienced. So in the books, I also talk about like some of the downfalls and the positives and like all the mental part of it too.
To really get into the mindset of what it's like. That's incredible.
Before you move on, can we talk about the bear for a second?
Well, I have bear fur right. You meant the giant teddy bear?
Yeah. So what's the story behind our giant mascot here?
So this is my buddy Bones. He comes to well, not every event because sometimes I'm overseas and I can't pay for a flight or plane
Right,
ticket
yeah.
for him. But if I'm driving somewhere, Bones normally comes with me, and he shows up in pictures. Kids and people love to take pictures with him.
And he got his name because
The little girl who actually decided to, like, her and her mom, they bought it for me as a gift because I made some silly comment. They were like, we've got this teddy bear for you. And I was like, you didn't have to, but I'm going to accept the gift. And it's my mascot. And I was like, well, she told me the name. And she was like, well, it's hanging out in your natural history museum that you built. And we're going to call him Bones because he's hanging out with your bones in the Natural History Museum. So
apropos. And that's what this stuff is here, I guess, from your...
So this is actually part of like my travel kit, right? So I go to schools and youth groups and probus groups, old folks homes, and some people, when you touch things, that's how it helps you to learn. So I let people touch my bones. So I've got beaver, I've got a moose here. I also have some bear fur. I have some beaver fur. And it's so cool to get to touch. And like, these are just little scraps that you get to actually feel and experience what that animal feels like. Because some of us will never get close enough to it. And again, I totally agree that it's not for everybody. But for the people who really like it, this stuff's really super cool. And to give them the opportunity to actually experience and touch it or get close to it, I think is such an amazing experience for the people who are into it.
And your museum's in your house.
Yeah, so my museum is actually a space that I built in my natural history, my natural history museum is built in my garage. And it has, it's in the background of the pictures of my books. But it has like 30 different skulls, 8 taxidermied animals. It even has a dinosaur footprint, a giraffe vertebrae. It's free to visit, donations welcome. The only negative to the space is you have to be able to climb stairs.
Right.
And that is, again, you can only build where you're able to, and that's the space I had for now. Again, I'd love to move it one day, but right now that's where it is, and it grows every month. Like I had a little kid who actually came to visit it over March break, and then earlier this week,
Oh, really?
he actually dropped off.
Return customers.
The return customer, him and his sister actually dropped off this giant taxidermied pheasant and a crocodile skull. And maybe if I come back again, I'll bring the croc skull for you. But this thing is this, like, it's a massive, it's bigger than this. Like,
Wow.
and it was from the kid's personal collection. Like, it was the coolest, sweetest thing.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it's just so amazing that, again, I don't charge people, but like some people have things that they don't want or they're done enjoying. It's like,
Yeah.
I want other people to enjoy. It's sort of like a consignment store,
Yeah.
right?
Except you keep it.
But I keep it and I let other people share and
And
enjoy
learn
it.
from it.
So
Oh my goodness, it's so fascinating to see things up close, especially for like you won't. It's true. You likely won't get to be up close and personal. Definitely not touching teeth of an animal, I hope.
right, and so that's actually like, so little kids will come and they
Yeah.
start talking and they're like wiggling the teeth, and I'm like, that's a part of. They're like, without you having gums, your teeth fall out. And then it's like a little jab to the dentist, like, hey, and like parents are like, oh, I'm like, yeah, if you clean your teeth, they don't fall out like this. It's happening to the moose. So.
Oh my goodness. Well, let's talk about something that you have upcoming in 2025 this year. You have a trip coming up to India, is that right?
Yeah, I'm actually trying to set up a trip for myself and a group of people, potentially 4 people, maybe 8 people, whoever wants to come. And we're going to go looking for tigers and leopards.
Wow.
And we'll hopefully find the melanistic leopard, because that's the park that I've picked for us to go. And then the only thing I can guarantee us seeing is the Taj Mahal. Right? And that thing's massive. And I'm not a building person.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, this is the coolest building. And if you ever get the opportunity, you need to see it.
Wow.
And you have photos from your last trip.
Yeah,
to
so
India.
my last trip, I actually went with someone I didn't know. I actually had met her through a dating app. Right? Yeah.
Interesting place to meet somebody else.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't
Yeah.
actually the girl I met on the dating app. It was actually her sister.
Oh.
Because I didn't get to go on the date, and her sister actually then was like I was supposed to go with a lady who ended up canceling because it wasn't suiting the way that she wanted to travel. She bailed, and then it was like, so I posted on Facebook, and the girl I was supposed to go on this date with through a dating app, she was like, oh, my sister might be interested. We talked on the phone for 4 hours, and then we went traveling for about 30 days sharing a room.
Wow.
It was amazing.
Leap of faith.
Right? And it was honestly, it was one of the best trips I've ever been on. We didn't fight.
Yeah.
The worst thing that happened to me was that there was a vehicle that was 30 minutes late.
Out of the whole trip.
Yeah, in like 30 days, like if that's the worst thing that happens, that's a pretty good trip.
And what photos did you capture on that trip? Like, what were your favorite moments?
Favorite moments, 4-month-old leopard cub. I saw 9 leopards on that. I spent 4 hours with a tiger, and she backed into the water, and I actually spotted the tiger, so it makes it a little bit more special. The 6 snow leopards.
Wow.
I got to see a girls hockey championship game up in the Himalayan mountains. That was actually like the first day that we were driving up there, and I play hockey and I coach hockey. I actually coach for the Collingwood Blues.
Ice hockey or
Ice hockey. Ice hockey, and it was the championship game, and like I have the coolest picture of like the girls with their bats and their names and like a little bit of hair coming down, and then the Himalayan mountains in the background. Like it was so special, and like it was awesome. Like my guide actually picked up on the energy when I saw some people playing hockey, and he was like, "Oh, we need to go and stop here," because he was actually going to get me to skate. But there was a game going on, so I couldn't interrupt the championship game. Yeah, but sorry, ladies, I just need to skate for 5 minutes. You stop your game. And so we watched the game for a little bit, and then we went and saw a snow leopard that day.
Wow.
So those would, like, those moments. And actually, the last thing that was really cool is we got to see lions. Right? Most people, when we think of lions, we think of Africa. But we went there to India because there's a small spot of lions that actually live. And that's sort of what I do in my presentations is I try to open up people's minds and change their perspective. So seeing lions in India, that's so cool.
So do you have any like local presentations coming up? Where can people kind of find you and your work? Obviously, in your home, in your beautiful space.
So I just got approved on the SIMCOE district school board, so I can actually, it's totally amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm actually able to go to all these different schools locally very easily for the teachers or principals to book me. They just have to like, it's just like, hey, we want him because I'm on that list. I can now come in. But I also go to probus groups, old folks' homes, anywhere. I even do birthday parties, which is pretty cool.
That's actually such a cool way to integrate it into.
Yeah, so I'll do, like I've done like a 10-year-old birthday party and a 70-year-old birthday party. And we do a little bit of a tour and we go for a walk and we do a talk, and it's actually pretty cool, and I bring some of the items depending on what we're doing to that event or whatever, and yeah.
But you have a YouTube channel.
My YouTube channel is pretty awesome, actually. Just last weekend.
Just so you know.
Yeah, slightly biased, not gonna lie, slightly biased, but I will say I just released a really cool video where I actually go swimming down to a shipwreck. Then I swim through drug planes, like old drug planes that have been brought to that location, find a turtle, swim after the turtle, turn around, kill and hunt an invasive venomous species, the lionfish.
Was this when you were telling me that
I just
you
said you.
almost ran out of air?
No, I didn't almost run out of air. So after I've done all of this, I see a stingray, and then I run out of air.
Oh boy.
But it was sort of known, like we had talked about me with my guide. I'm like, I'm a heavy breather, like this could happen. So like, I literally am like, I'm out, and I just changed to buddy breathe with him.
Let's give it up for adventure.
Oh my God.
Adventure, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a pretty cool, and then I share like other animal videos underwater with loons and beavers, cage diving with sharks, a mother turtle lays eggs that I could have caught in my hand.
What kind of sharks, Jason?
I have done it with great whites, but the video is of a 7-gill shark and a bronze whaler.
You are very brave.
Boy,
You are very, very brave.
I'm a little bit crazy or stupid if you talk to my mother, and I actually totally agree with her, which is actually why I have a hot sauce called Crazy Canuck.
He walks with his own hot sauce, people.
That's amazing.
In a sweet holster that was
In a
built
sweet
that was
holster.
built locally, and it's actually created by someone local, and the artist who does the work on it is all local, so it's actually really cool, and I support a whole bunch of local people.
And is it Scotch bonnet peppers or not fake peppers?
It's
Real peppers?
it's definitely the Scotch bonnet pepper, and then it's got some mango and pineapple, so it's not just heat.
Okay, okay.
It adds a little bit of flavor to it.
I know.
Oh my God.
And we will make sure that we post all of your socials below here, so you can
Awesome.
follow Jason on YouTube and Instagram and all of his wonderful things.
And hire him. Oh my God, I would love, honestly, if I was a kid and I was in school, this is exactly what I would love to learn more, and how I would love to learn more. Like, not just the dry information, but your personal experiences, as well as obviously the knowledge behind it.
So one of the other cool parts about this book series is I actually teamed up with my roommate. I lived with 5 girls in university, and one of them is actually a super talented artist. Her name is Jen, and she actually created a couple drawings based on like the photos from my books, so that you can actually color the pictures that you're seeing.
That's awesome.
And then you can also go to the YouTube channel and watch videos of the animals that you're coloring.
So cool.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Oh my God. Well, thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much for thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for bringing all of this, for letting us into your world, and certainly check them out. Yeah, you got it.
Little personal beaver for you.
You're not going anywhere just yet. After the break, Jason's sticking around for something on the wild side. We'll be back.
Oh, yeah. Uh-oh.
There we go.
Welcome back to The Scoop. We've had an amazing time chatting with Jason George about his travels and his photography and some unforgettable wildlife adventures. But now it's time to put his animal knowledge to the test, along with ours. We're playing a little game, and we like to call this Wild or Made Up. All right? So here's how it works. I'm going to name an animal, and you have to tell me, is it real or did we totally make it up? Okay, Jason, no pressure, but I feel like you might have an advantage here.
Are they like scientific terms? Or
I'm not telling you.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll try it.
You guys ready? Okay, you tell me.
I can't even bend over to see what's on her.
No peeking. The first animal is called the pink fairy armadillo. Real or made up?
I'm gonna say made up.
I'm gonna say real.
Jason George for the win. It's real. This fuzzy little armadillo from Argentina is very real and super adorable. It's the smallest species of armadillo and spends most of its life underground, almost never seen in the wild.
Is it really pink?
All right, number 2, the snorkel cat.
No, that's
no
made up.
way that's
No.
real.
Is it a real feline? Or is it the name of some weird fish?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, that could. Oh.
But so I think it's made up.
You're correct. Ding, ding, ding. It's made up.
Well done, lady.
Number 3, the glass frog.
I feel like that's real.
100%.
I want to say 50-50.
You gotta pay. It's a yes or no game.
Okay, it's a no.
Unfortunately, you're wrong.
You are wrong. The glass frog is real. It's
I haven't
almost.
seen it, but I know.
Is it translucent?
It's almost see-through. You can literally see its insides. Native to Central and South America. Its clear belly helps it camouflage for safety. Number 4, the tropical mop lizard.
Oh, mop lizard?
A mop lizard.
I feel like yeah, that's probably real. Somebody saw a lizard. No.
Yeah, I don't think
I
it's
don't
real.
think that's real.
You are correct.
Ah.
It is made up. But now I kind of want one to like
That-
clean
yeah,
my
like-
kitchen. Number 5, the fanged deer.
Yes. Real.
No. Come on, Jay.
So there is a fanged animal. I don't know if that's its actual name, but I'll go with yes.
You are correct again.
Like serious
Also
fangs?
called the musk deer.
Yeah, that's what it was like. I don't know if the name you're giving us is actual or real.
Are they carnivores to have fangs?
No.
they're
It's
still.
just like the
I don't
teeth
know,
are
I'm just
grow-
asking.
So the teeth grow a little bit longer,
Okay.
But it does look like a vampire deer.
which is why I was like, I don't know. Like I think that they're just making like it's a fake name.
Jason's like,
It's not
I've seen one.
proper.
I've photographed one, but I didn't know.
Interesting.
I haven't seen one actually.
No, I have not either. Found in Asia, they have fang-like tusks instead of antlers.
Oh.
Yeah. Number 6,
Okay.
the banana toad.
Is it yellow in color? Hence the word? I don't know. I'm just asking real questions. Is it yellow in color?
I'm not sure on this one, but I'm gonna go with yes.
I'm gonna go yes.
No.
It's made up.
Yeah.
But it does sound weirdly believable. But there is
Congrats.
a tomato frog, which is a bright red frog from Madagascar.
Is it poisonous?
That wasn't in my research.
Okay.
We can look it up. Yeah.
Feel free to let us know in the comments whatever you find out about all of these wonderful things here.
Especially the pink fairy armadillo.
Yes.
Oh, you remembered. Well done.
She's going to
paying
Google that.
attention.
Yeah.
Is it pink? I don't know.
And the last question, the eye.
The
Like,
what?
aye, Captain. Aye.
Is that how it's actually spelled?
I need another breakdown.
A-Y-E, A-Y-E.
What kind
This
of
would be
animal
the-
is it?
This would be the tiebreak for you to win.
Like, what kind of
Oh,
animal
wow.
is it?
Pressure's on.
An eye.
Yeah, but is it a fish? Is it a bird?
you
Is
don't
it?
get that. You just get the name.
No, that sounds
I
like
think it's fake. I'm gonna go with
So to make it so that if you're going fake, I have to
going to
go.
go
I have to go real because
Okay.
we have to. This is the this.
Tiebreaker?
This would.
Oh,
I think it's
no?
the tiebreaker. So just based on you getting your
Why am
say,
I so nervous?
may the best person win. I'm gonna go with it's real.
You are correct. It is a lemur from Madagascar.
really?
Yeah, apparently it has one super long middle finger that it uses in wood to find insects. And it scoops out the bugs.
Like
I
a
didn't know
little.
lemurs had. Wow.
Unfortunately, that's all the time that we have for today, but we'll be back next Wednesday with even more stories, surprises, and special guests. We're talking drama on and off the stage, and you might just catch us kicking up our heels a little.
A huge thank you to our guests, Nicole Bishop, Casey Morrison, and Jason George, for bringing your heart, inspiration, and style to the show.
So, what's the scoop, Georgian Bay? You tell us.
If you've got an event, story, or a local business we should know about, pop us off an email or drop a comment below. We'd love to feature you.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
Yay! Thank you. Thanks for being here, honestly.
No problem. Thank you.
Let's do it again for
Surprise.
episode 2.